Ready for another deep dive?
Let's do it.
Today we're going deep on achieving personal and professional effectiveness, a guide to growth.
Sounds intense.
It is, but also super practical. And not just about, climbing the corporate ladder.
Right. More like building a life you actually enjoy on your terms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the book kicks off with this idea of proactive living, like taking charge.
Being intentional.
Yeah. And one of the first things they hit you with is starting with the end in mind.
Powerful concept.
So true. It's easy to get lost in the daily grind and forget where you're even headed.
Like, what's the point of all this running around?
Totally. It's like that saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there.
Precisely. Having a clear vision is essential.
The book actually uses this great analogy about planning a trip. Makes it super relatable.
Okay, I like analogies. Lay it on me.
So you wouldn't just hop in the car and start driving with no destination, right?
Go away. I'd be lost.
Exactly. You need to know where you want to go.
Yeah.
So applying that to life, starting with the end in mind, means first figuring out what success even looks like for you.
Defining your own personal and professional goals.
Yes. And then you can map out how to get there.
Makes sense. But there are so many possibilities, right? How do we choose what to focus on?
Ugh, I know. I struggle with this all the time, feeling pulled in a million directions.
Yeah, we only have so much time and energy.
Okay, so the book dives into this,
Yeah.
talking about taking ownership of your life.
Oh, yeah, like being responsible for your choices.
Right, and realizing those choices directly impact the outcomes.
So not playing the victim, but actually shaping your own destiny.
Totally. It's empowering, but also kind of scary.
True, it puts the pressure on.
Right. No more blaming external factors. It's all about how you respond and what actions you take.
And that ties directly into prioritizing and focus.
Oh, yeah. Which is so tough. I mean, there's always more to do.
Always. The key is identifying those high-impact activities.
The ones that actually move the needle.
Yeah, like the 20% of effort that gets you 80% of the results.
Classic Pareto principle.
Works every time.
All right, let's move on to something a bit more touchy-feely. Relationships.
Ooh, everyone's favorite topic.
Right. So the book really emphasizes this idea of seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Oh, that's gold. It's so easy to just want to get your point across.
Totally. We're all guilty of that sometimes. But this principle is about really listening first.
Active listening, like truly absorbing what the other person is saying.
And not just their words, but their emotions too, right? Like what's behind the words.
Absolutely. And then once you've made the effort to understand, you can communicate your own perspective more effectively.
Because you've built that foundation of trust and connection.
Precisely.
Okay, so how do we take this principle and actually apply it in, say, a tough negotiation? Any tips?
Well, first, check your ego at the door.
Easier said than done sometimes.
True. But if you go in with the mindset of, I need to win, you're already setting yourself up for conflict.
Okay, so approach it more collaboratively.
Exactly. Like, how can we find a solution that works for both of us?
That's the idea behind synergize for collective success.
Yes. And this principle is huge, E. Not just in negotiations, but in all aspects of life.
It's like that old saying, 2 heads are better than 1.
More than that.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that when people with different skills and perspectives come together, they can achieve something far greater than any individual could on their own.
It's like that saying, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Right. Think about a successful product launch. It takes engineers, designers, marketers, salespeople, all working together in sync.
The synergy of their individual talent creates something amazing.
Exactly.
And that leads us to the importance of valuing diversity of perspectives, not just in the workplace, but in life in general.
This one's crucial, and not just about being politically correct or whatever.
Right. It's about realizing that different viewpoints challenge our assumptions
They push us to think outside the box.
and ultimately lead to more innovative solutions. Have you seen that play out in your work?
Oh, absolutely. When you have a team from diverse backgrounds, you get a wider range of ideas.
More creative problem solving.
And often a better end product.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about continuous learning and growth.
Always a good topic.
The book uses this interesting metaphor, sharpening your saw.
Love that one. It's about investing in yourself.
So not just about formal education, right?
No, it's broader than that. It could be reading industry articles, attending conferences, taking online courses.
Or even just like listening to podcasts like this one.
Exactly. Anything that expands your knowledge and skills.
And helps you stay relevant in a rapidly changing world.
Right. Because let's face it, what worked yesterday might not work tomorrow.
Adaptability is key.
Absolutely.
And speaking of things that can either help or hinder us, the book talks a lot about the power of habit.
Ooh, yeah. Those things can run our lives if we're not careful.
It's so true. So how do we harness that power for good? I mean, we all have those bad habits we wish we could break.
It's tough, but awareness is the first step. Identify the habits that aren't serving you.
The ones that are holding you back.
Yep. And then start small. Focus on replacing one bad habit with a good one.
Like, instead of mindlessly scrolling social media, read a book for 15 minutes before bed.
Exactly. Small changes over time can lead to huge results.
It's all about consistency, right?
Exactly.
Okay, shifting gears again, let's talk balance and fulfillment. Because what's the point of all this success if you're miserable, right?
Absolutely. The book stresses prioritizing your well-being, and it's not selfish.
Yeah, it's essential.
You can't pour from an empty cup. You need to take care of yourself to be effective in any area of your life.
So what are some practical ways to do that? What works for you?
Exercise is a must. Even if it's just a quick walk, it clears my head and energizes me.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Getting enough sleep is huge.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, prioritize that. And spending time in nature, it's so restorative.
Nature is the best. I totally agree. Okay, and the book also talks about connecting with your values, like making sure your actions align with your core beliefs.
That's so important for that sense of inner peace.
Totally. But how do we even figure out what our values are?
Think about times in your life when you felt truly fulfilled and happy. What were you doing? What principles were guiding you?
Oh, I like that. It's a good reflection exercise.
It can really help you clarify what matters most.
Okay, and lastly in this section, gratitude and mindfulness. Everyone talks about these, but how do they actually help us be more effective?
Well, gratitude shifts your focus to the positive, helps you appreciate what you have instead of dwelling on what you lack.
Right, it's that whole mindset shift.
And mindfulness helps you stay present, reduces stress by keeping you from constantly ruminating on the past or worrying about the future.
It's about savoring the moment.
Exactly.
All right, let's get practical again. Time management and productivity.
Everyone's favorite struggle.
So true. The book talks about planning your days and weeks, but honestly, sometimes even thinking about planning stresses me out.
I hear that. It's finding what works for you. Some people like detailed schedules, others prefer more flexibility.
Right. What's your style?
I'm somewhere in between. I like to have a general outline for the week, but I also leave room for spontaneity.
Okay, makes sense.
Mhm.
And of course, there's all this technology now to help us stay organized. Any favorite tools or apps you recommend?
Oh, so many good ones. Project management apps like Asana or Trello are great for collaboration.
I love Trello.
Yeah, it's super visual. And then calendar apps like Google Calendar are essential for scheduling.
Can't live without my Google Calendar.
Right. And then note-taking apps like Evernote or Notion can help capture ideas in to-do lists.
The options are endless. It can be overwhelming.
Totally. The key is to find a few tools that work for you and stick with them. Don't try to do everything at once.
Great advice. And last but not least, the book talks about delegating and automating.
This is huge for freeing up time and mental bandwidth.
But it can be hard to let go of control.
Right, no, I struggle with that too. But learning to delegate effectively is essential, especially as you take on more responsibility.
And then automation is all about using technology to streamline those repetitive tasks,
Yes, freeing up your time and energy for the things that really matter.
the things that only you can do.
Precisely. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Wow. I feel like we've covered so much ground today.
We have. From proactive living to time management, it's been a whirlwind.
And it's clear that personal and professional effectiveness are deeply intertwined.
Absolutely. It's about creating a life that is both fulfilling and impactful.
And it's a journey, not a destination.
Big
You don't have to
time.
be perfect.
Exactly. Just keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving to be the best version of yourself.
Great advice to end on.
And remember, even small changes can have a big impact. What's one thing you're going to take action on today?